My marriage is falling apart because of my changed lifestyle. I am a 37-year-old woman. I have been married to my husband, 40M, for 10 years. We have 2 kids together. 7M and 4F. I never had any issues in my marriage before. After my son was born, I went into deep depression. My life was not in the right track anyways. I was stuck in a dead-end low-paying job. I was handling my boy alone because my husband has to work overtime to feed us. When my daughter came, I made a decision to change myself. I used to drink a lot. Now I am sober. I haven't touched alcohol in 5 years. I have changed my diet and bad food habits. I go to the gym and do yoga every morning. My sleep has improved. My mood has improved drastically with just some changes. I do not get irritated easily or become helpless. I have also updated my resume and looked for a job that suits me. I make a decent amount of money now. I get compliments from people around telling me I look great. I have lost a ton of weight too. I thought my husband would be happy, but he is not. He dislikes that I get compliments from people or when people compliment me in front of him. I didn't see it as a big issue. He used to joke about how people assume he is Adam Sandler who got the hot chick. I used to brush it off as a joke. Then I discovered he was cheating on me with a coffee shop waitress. I don't think her job title matters, but that girl doesn't seem nice to me. I have looked through some of the chats of her and my husband, and she called me an old hag trying to fit in with the young. She lives with her parents and is a high school dropout. She is only 22 years old. I am devastated. I thought my husband would be happy. Our sex life has been better than ever. This affair has been going on for 7 months. Despite me working more hours now, I still do all my wifely duties. I cook for him, make him his lunch for the office, I initiate sex and intimacy. Now here I am getting a divorce from him. When I confronted him about the affair, he told me being with me is always overbearing. He feels invisible because most people give me attention. And somehow it is my fault. I was obsessed with myself rather than noticing how this is making him feel. He feels small because he has been stuck in the same place 5 years ago. I don't get it. I never pushed him to follow my lead. I always told him that I loved him no matter what. Why is this happening? I don't want my kids to grow up in a broken family. But I cannot live with him after what he has said and done. I know he is being insecure. But he didn't have to hurt me like this. I know as a single mom it is tough to survive. People have warned me that my husband could act differently towards me. They were right. I wish it didn't end like this. Update. Hello guys, I want to thank all those people who have supported me and was kind to me. I know people have asked me to know how I am doing. I am doing fine. Yes, there is still pain, but things are moving smoothly. I did get my son and daughter to therapy. My son knows why we are divorcing. He gets angry sometimes and throws a fit. My daughter is too young to understand anything. I just want to know, how can I handle this? How can I make my son to see none of this is his fault but his father's? I do not want to keep anything a secret from my kids because I believe the relationship between a couple affects the kids too. I do want him to have a good relationship with his dad, but I do not want him to take a bad lesson from it. The other day I was watching the movie Family That Prays. I know this is silly, but I had this fear inside me that what if my son blames me for the divorce like Andrea blamed her mother because her father left? What if he turns out just like his own father? I cannot control everything that goes inside his head. I try my best to be there for my son, but the constant fear of losing him is still there. My father came to visit me. He lives in a different city. He knows half-truth. After knowing the full truth, he was very angry. When my ex-husband came to visit our kids, my dad and him got into a huge fight. My dad slapped him. My dad used to be in the army, so my ex-husband is terrified of him. He threatened to call the police, but my dad shouted, "I am not afraid of a cockroach like you." I told my dad not to make things more complicated than it already is. I am trying my best to keep my daily routine. Sleeping has been tough, but I do not want to depend on pills. On the bright side, I have a lot of free time in my hand. I realize that half of my chores have been reduced. I know kids are messy, but there is a huge relief. I do not have to clean crumbs off the table, or have rings of water droplets on the coffee table, which annoys me a lot. Things and stuff stay at its place. I started to notice, my husband was the one who made half of the mess and I was the one who cleaned it. Last week I went to the theater with my son and daughter to watch Barbie. We were accompanied by my friend who is also a single mom of two. I felt good wearing the replica of cowboy costume that Margot Robbie wore, my friend's idea. We did have a lot of fun. I am still trying my best to stay afloat. And I am not thinking about dating. I do not have the urge to date at the moment. I did get hit on in few places but nothing exciting. I will see you guys later. Edit, I had to delete my previous post because of issues. Now here's the top comment from our Reddit peps. First comment came from fishy_fishy5748. All I can think of is that line at the end of Crazy Rich Asians. It's not my job to make you feel like a man. I can't make you something you're not. And OP replied. Love your flair, where is it from? This one is from Science is My God. It's your fault I cheated, it's your fault I felt small, and it's your fault my life sucks. Like or just a thought do better? Also that note about half the chores than before just days a lot about him as a husband before he got jealous. And this one is from Sailor Mooney. Guys, I have a huge problem. My wife is just too hot and only getting hotter. WTF do I do? And next one is from Munchkins_N. Dragons. I think he wanted to make her think he had options before she realized she did too, and they'd be better options than him. Just a last-ditch effort to gain/regain control. He spent a long time trying to keep her small and under his thumb, but she's grown too much as a person for him to be able to keep her down anymore. I hope his baby barista gets her head on straight and realizes he's not the catch he wants her to believe he is. And lastly from Quarantine Baker. I hit rock bottom and decided to change my life. My marriage was rocky as it was. But when I got better and happier and stronger, he got angrier and weaker and more threatened. I remember the last counseling we went to and I explained that a gulf was building between us and I was worried about the future. The counselor said we would worry about it when we got to that bridge, but I knew we were already there. We separated for over a year and a half. I initiated the divorce because he was in denial, despite dating other women. When we met up after more than 9 months of no contact, I thought I loved him and said I didn't want to get a divorce. He expressed the same and broke up with his girlfriend of 4 months. I worked to bridge my life with his over the next 6 weeks and it was tough but I was making it work. It became increasingly clear that he had not healed enough and wasn't interested in deeper work. When I caught him in a giant lie where he cheated, it was over for me. But he blamed it all on my not giving him enough attention. Complete and total lie. He was very jealous of my ability to hold a full-time job, train for running races, go BSK to school, co-parent my kid, and go between 2 homes with my daily clothes and work in tow and still get everything done with all my energy. I didn't look back after leaving that final time. I knew he was beneath me because of his jealousy and narcissistic tendencies. And that's all for today, guys. See you on the next one.